owns money and who gets to control it is because money is incredible. Yesterday, Kimbrough, Toyin broke it down. And can I tell y'all a cheat code? Money is the lowest form of wealth. All right. Hello, TSP family. Good morning. Hey, sorors. All right. I am here, and I'm not by myself. I got my sorors. I got my TSP mastermind family. And I also brought a friend, y'all. This is my official TSP stage wardrobe. I had the privilege, and I'm jumping ahead of myself. The first time I ever hit the TSP stage back in 2019, I wore this. When I got my 6-figure award, I wore this. And next year, when I get my 7-figure award, guess what I'm wearing? But today is not about me. I'm just so grateful to be here with y'all. Y'all look good. I saw us in line this morning. And I'm going to jump right in because I have a very important conversation for us to have today. Because do you want to be seen? Yes. Do you want to be paid? Yes. Let's have the conversation. So as Brandy shared, I'll be sharing with you how you can flip your story for media, speaking, and sales. So I'll jump right in and tell you a little bit about me. This is home for me in multiple ways. TSP is home for me. And also, I am born and raised in the city of Atlanta. That is baby girl right there at Columbia Elementary in Decatur, Georgia. And that's me on the right side. As Brandy mentioned, I worked the last 20 years consecutively working in media, ensuring diverse leaders like us had our stories told. I spent 10 of those years at the world's largest magazine publisher, Time Inc., where I worked at Essence, where I was a senior editor. That's also where I met Ronnie and Lamar back in 2008 when their blog, Black and Married with Kids, first launched. I'm proud to say I was able to do their first national media feature and feature them on their website. And Lamar says that legitimized their brand because they were able to step away from all the other people who said we're bloggers and leverage the big name of an established media outlet. Would anyone else like that? So let's jump in. I'll tell you how we can do that. But before I do that, I would be remiss not to make sure you're ready for that high-level conversation. Because when we start talking about big stages, it comes fast. I'll tell you, I work with a leader. I wrote an article for the New York Times back in 2021. The day that article hit, guess how many new people went to her website that day? Let me hear some numbers. I heard it right here. My girl, Coach Cass, 20,000 new people went to her website the second the article went online, right? And we want that, and I want your business to be ready. So I'm the child of 2 educators, so I like things simplified and clear for me. So go like this for me. Wake up. Just touch your mind. Oh, yeah, y'all look good. Touch your brain. Because what I want you to know, our brains are trains. We've heard it throughout. Yesterday, we talked about the power of mindset. And as someone who's completed over $200,000 in coaching programs, as I bet on me, it's something I've heard in every program I've joined. And I wanted to make it clearer as I talk about what that means in our community. So to get to new places, we have to lay new track. And so if our brains are trains, that means they need a track to roll on. And so we often hear about most lottery winners end up what, y'all? Does that make sense? Because in order to win the lottery, what do you have to do? You got to play. You got to get in your car, and then once you get out of your car into the store, you got to do what? You don't just play, you got to pay. You spend your hard-earned money to pay a ticket. So it makes no sense if I wanted to win the lottery. When I won it, why did I end up broke? But the reason, and we saw that yesterday with Dr. Kimbrough, we saw with our mastermind fam, Toyin, when they talked about mindset and belief. And the visual of that is most lottery winners have spent their whole lives on a track and a belief that said what? I make enough to get by. And so even when you add $1 million on top of a broken belief, what's the belief still? I make enough to get by. And so the way we talk about it in our community is we say to get new places, you have to lay new track. So every time you lay new track with me, I want you to say, choo, choo. Can y'all do that with me? Choo, choo? I love it. I love it. So choo, choo. Today I'm moving fast, and I want to support and share with my beloved TSP community how you can lay some new track. So where do you need to lay some new track? When you heard the word seen and paid, when we talk about those big name brands, what would you need to believe about yourself, about media, about access to give yourself permission to do that? And I know for me, when I first joined the TSP Mastermind, I had a lot of track to lay. I joined the Mastermind in 2018, At the time, I was still living in New York, where I lived for 12 years. Looking glamorous, taking pictures, came here in 2019, told y'all about Oprah's house, had a very glamorous life that also was incredibly draining. And so I was burnt out and knew I needed a new track. And so I joined a community like this so that I could get access to new information. And so what that did for me is when you start laying new track, you also start to get in new conversations. So I was at that place. Anybody who's here and still working in your corporate job? Let me see. Who's letting somebody else pay some bills for you? Good to see y'all. Listen, that's your #1 investor. We honor and earn it. But we also know what it's like when you're ready for that new life, that next door to open, and yet you feel like you're stuck in the old path. And that's where I was in 2018. And when you start telling people about your dream for your next, they start talking back to you. So December 26, 2018, I'm sitting at Cafe Latte, this cute little spot. If you go to Harlem, it's one of my favorite spots. Try the chai latte and that vegan burger. And so I'm sitting there with one of my best friends, and I'm telling her that story. Because for some of y'all, we'll be honest, I had been talking for years how I was going to leave my corporate job and go to my next level. Can anybody relate to that same story? And so I'm sitting there telling my girl, hey, and she looks at me and she says a simple question back to me. I see you, Dr. Mia. She looks at me and she said, by when? You've been singing the same song. I'm leaving. When, sis? And that's the power of being in radical relationships, because they don't let you just sit there and stay stuck. And so that's right. That's what we do for each other. And so I wasn't ready for the question, but my spirit was. And so she said, as quick as she said by when, I said a date. It was December 26, 2018. She said by when? I said by my birthday. Now your question is, well, when your birthday, girl? My birthday is February 8th, so it was just under 2 months later. And so what I want you to know is I came to Game Plan the next time. That's when y'all see the suit was out. And then February 6, 2019. Y'all gotta stay with me. I'm gonna be very honest. The Holy Spirit loves y'all. Because it's stuff that I haven't shared publicly like this that I was been pushed to share. So I'm listening like y'all. Like, what happened, girl? Get to the point, sis. Okay. So I'm sorry. Okay, I only got a little bit of time. Let's go. We got to get to these pictures and scripts. February 6, 2019, I walk into work, y'all. I wasn't wearing this, but I walk into work. And like I said, burnt out, ready for my next. Had worked at that company for 10 years, had a new manager who had come in, who made it very apparent very quickly that she was not a fan of me. And it didn't feel like a safe environment. So I was in a space where 2 weeks before I had come to work, had let my direct manager know, hey, I got a doctor's appointment. I was getting an iron infusion. I was very anemic at the time. And so I came in, didn't have the best experience with a new girl at the clinic trying to find a vein. So I'm feeling like that, and I come in, and the manager calls me into her office, and she's like, well, where were you this morning? I said, oh, I had a doctor's appointment, point to the, I told Jackie, who's direct manager, I'd be out at an appointment. She said, well, I just expect to see you at your desk. And so, y'all feel how I feel. So fast forward to February 6, 2019, I walk in, she calls me into her office. She said, the speech, hey, basically, can you be gone in 10 minutes? And I said, girl, absolutely! Did I not tell y'all what I said on December 26th by my birthday, y'all? Now, I was excited. Now, everybody in my life wasn't excited, but I knew there was a place that would be excited with me. So before I even told my own mama, before I told my group chat and my HU boos, y'all know I didn't tell them. Who I did tell was this mastermind. And this is the post I posted the next day. I said, yeah, because they knew I had joined this mastermind because I knew it was time for my next. And so that's the post, and that's the type of community we have that we can see your next. And so I'm just grateful to be home. I came back. I spoke at TSP Live 2019. I didn't wear the suit. And new mastermind fam, don't be mad, but back in the day, OGs noticed everybody would get an award. And so I didn't even have a business, but they let me get on stage that year. Thank y'all. You know, things change, level up. So let me jump in. So 5 years ago, I was recovering from burnout. I didn't have a job or a business, but I had a choice to make. And for many of you, you are here this weekend because you have choices to make. And you already made the big choice to be in this room. So our request as your family, your cousins, is that you keep making big, bold choices. And so that's what I had to do. I decided I was tired of New York and I was ready for a fresh start. I drove, this is the real, and I didn't plan to wear a TSP shirt that day, but I like that shirt where it says, don't make money, don't make excuses, make money. And I moved back in 2019 as I was really just healing and resetting myself. I started taking more clients. I officially started my business, Shine Army, in 2020. And within the 6 months, we had signed our first six-figure client in 2021. Thank you. And I'll tell you how, and I'm jumping in. So this is January 2022. So inside of that burnout year, I also took a break from the mastermind. And I want to say I've seen a lot of TSP Mastermind alum this weekend. I ain't going to call y'all out by name, but it's been so good to see you. And if you know you meant to jump back in, don't wait too late to jump back in. So I jumped back in January of 2022. Good to see y'all family. And that June, I picked up my six-figure award. They stopped giving the other awards, so I got a real... The participation. Don't y'all ask Lamar about that later. I'm telling the business. But I picked up my six-figure award. And I'm proud to say this is just a snapshot of some of the incredible clients we've been able to serve over the last few years. Some of you are in the room. I say thank you. I am so grateful and excited to be able to do this work. And I'm really proud to say, as clearly a black woman, that I'm proud to say over 70% of the leaders we've served come from historically marginalized communities, come from people who have not been seen and properly served. And so we accelerate closing that gap by increasing your visibility. So this ain't about you. This ain't about me. This is about you. So in this moment, I have to ask you, have you imagined? Have you imagined what it would look like for it to be your turn in the big spotlight? Have you imagined you're watching your favorite show, you're listening to your favorite podcast? Shouldn't it be you in the seat? And many of you like, yeah. And in this moment, I'm going to ask you, well, where? What are the stages that are hungry to hear your message? What are the platforms that you are meant to be? I love Toyin yesterday talked about she knew she was meant to be on this stage. And we literally saw her come up here and tear the thing down. And so if you know, anybody else know you're supposed to be up here, this is one of the stages? I see y'all. So what are some of the stages that are waiting and hungry for you? Now, I'm Southern. We talked about choo-choo. We also like to sip a little tea. Y'all want a little tea real quick? Y'all never know who's in the room. Ramon, are you here? Ramon, he's here? Okay. I saw him earlier when I was coming in. But last night, quickly I'll share, because I'm going to share it really quickly, but you just never know. So a few weeks ago on our TSP Mastermind Q&A call, me and Ramon was in the DMs like, we should do a JV, because we have some synergy in our businesses. So we planned to meet last night. And while I was waiting to meet with him, another girlfriend said, hey, I'm here. So I went, sat with her, and while I'm sitting there, Ramon walks up, and I say, these two people should meet. So they sit, I'm telling them about each other, and he says to her, one of my big goals is I want to build a media empire. I want to build something like what Steve Harvey has. And so we keep talking, he gets up, he leaves, and I look at my girlfriend and I say, does that happen often? Because I'd only introduced her by her first name. I said, hey, this is my girl, Brandy. But what I didn't say was Brandy's last name is Harvey. So that's the power of you never know. And he's saying, I'd love to build a platform, and he's sitting across from this man's firstborn child. That's what happens at TSP. That is what's possible. You're a conversation away. Choo-choo, thank you, listen. And the nugget is when you grab the nugget and then eat it, right? Put it to work. So choo-choo is like, I just didn't hear it, but I'm actually will move in action for what I just heard. So that's what we're here to do. And for some of you, you might look at this picture and you're like, I don't want to be the guest. I want to blow up my platform. You like Ramon. I want it to be my show that people are featured by. And for some of you, you say, I want my product featured. I don't necessarily want to be the person out front. However, I know I need someone out front. So that was the case this week. One of the TSP fellow mastermind members, who I'm proud to say is a client, Charreah, owner of Travel Divas. She's taking 300 women to Essence Festival next weekend. And I've been doing some PR for them, and we had an interview this week for Essence to talk about it this week. And Shantira is the type of leader who's like, I'm okay to be in the background and I'll have someone else do that interview. So whether it's you or someone on your team, I want you all thinking, what are the stages that need to hear about my business, that need to hear about my product, and that to hear about our solution to change the world. So where will we be seeing you? Let me hear and take a time to just give yourself permission in this moment to name your stage. Where? Oprah? Essence Fest? Good Morning America? Today Show? TSP Live 2025, okay. We love to see it, we love to see it. Because I want you to know you have everything it takes. You have say, I have everything it takes to get booked for national media, paid speaking, and major opportunities. And I'm good just the way I am. I love it. Dr. Mia said, good's not good enough. She said, I'm great. Okay. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share with you my SHINE method, 5 success strategies to be seen and paid. Because it's not enough. I don't want you to just be visible and not be ready to leverage that visibility. Uh-oh. Boom. So, success leaves clues. Strategy number 1. Let me see. Oh, strategy number 1, let me go back just 1 second, is sync. This is the foundation. As someone who's been able to interview some of the top leaders in the world, from President Joe Biden to Oprah to Sarah Jessica Parker, when I tell you, when you play big, the bigger and taller the tree, the stronger the roots. So the bigger the platform you're looking to build, the more I want you to be grounded in who you are and ground your business in it. So a lot of times when you see leaders who get major success and then they break down, it's because they did not sync and ground themselves. And so that is foundation for all the work we do. And one of the ways, we have a cheat code to be in this room. When I look out at your faces, I see people who look like me. I see people who come from generations of people who found a way out of no way. And so because we already have access to that supernatural strength, because often we hear about generational trauma and generational pain, and that is real, and there's also a thing called generational strength. And I want us to start to tap into our generational strength to say, if we were strong enough to be the descendant of people who were brought here in chattel, and here we are, how dare us not play full out? We truly are the ones. Let's go. And so, come on now. And I'm going to keep moving quickly because of time. I'd like to share with you some of my ones. This is my family. That's my mom in the pink and white. That's my grandfather in the middle, George Hutto, who was a pastor in Barnwell, South Carolina, and that's all their grandkids. Okay, South Carolina. And I also want you to know this is also my grandfather. On his farm, those are his pigs in the background. And I need you to know he put 3 girls through college. And when tuition was due, there was bacon. He would go, grab one of these pigs out of his farm and sell it or make some bacon and made sure he took care of his family. And so if he could make something out of that, then I and none of us have any excuse not to play full out. And so I just wanted in this moment to bring in some of the energy of my ancestors. And when Brandy introduced me, she said Charreah K. Jackson. There's not a Charreah H. Jackson, so I really don't have to include the K. But the reason I include the K is because of this woman. My middle name is Katie, and I'm named after my great-grandmother. And she was born in 1902. And I want you to know these are her grandparents. This is Jerry and Sylvia Williams. And I want y'all to know they were born as and considered as property in the country we're in. They were born when slavery was still legal. Now, the power of why I'm able to tell you all of this is someone thought enough to see them and make sure they were documented, took great pictures, and wrote down the stories. And so I want us to do that. In this generation, we keep catching the stories and carrying them to the next generation. Because he was born in 1820, he'll be 194, so what's the math? 1824, not 1824, 1820, somewhere around there in the early 1820s. Now, here's the gangster part. Because his story was written, I wrote an article for Essence, and this is in 2021, and this is what the email I got back. You don't have to squint, I'll tell you. But basically, I included in my copy that he had, I said he founded 14 churches. Now, the reporter doing her due diligence writes me back and says, you said founder. She fact-checked me on somebody who was born almost 200 years ago. And she checked me. She was able to do that because somebody wrote the story. She said, I went and read the obituary, and you got it wrong, sis. And so that's what's possible when we take the time to document and share our story and also make sure we're honoring our history. Now, what you saw and what I want to share with you as the girl who was burnt out, moved back home with no business is, one of the things that helped me supercharge my business was to claim all my power. And one of the ways I want to encourage you to claim all your power is to access all of your generational and your ancestral strength. So where are some places in your life where you can claim your power? And I also want to say this for some of you who might have had toxic work experiences, you might have had a crazy manager like I have. One of the things I also had to do was reclaim the story of my corporate career so that I could access all the power and opportunity from that experience. So I'm going to keep moving. So this is the actual article where I quoted my great-grandfather, and this is the bottom. Now, this is how you always want to make money. Because some of you are being seen, you have platforms, you're being interviewed, and you're not seeing the money come back. And so one of the things I encourage all of my clients, and one thing I started to do was to always set up funnels from my media. And so you'll see at the bottom of this article, I said for a free coaching series, and I put the link. And I usually will tell my clients to include a vanity URL. For time, I couldn't do that for this one, but it still works. So this is the actual landing page. I did it myself. I didn't have a team back then. And I can look back and see 31 people saw the article, took the lead, and one of them actually is an active client right now from that article and me just leaving a lead magnet in there. So we talked about sync. When you know you have properly synced, you have clarity, you have courage, and you have conviction. Now, I'm not going to go too deep in these because I know y'all like, I want to get to the pictures, sis, and I want to bring y'all inside of my inbox. Y'all want to see real pictures? Okay, let me get to it. So in help, this is where you're clear about who you help. TSP does great about this. This is where you really want to chisel out your signature system. And so one of the things I always encourage people to make sure you help 100 people and you know their problem inside and out before you need to go help 10,000 people or 1 million people with larger opportunities. And what you'll know is you've achieved this season when you have market clarity and you have your signature solution ready for sale. So the next piece is Invoice. This is where we talk about the money. Now, this is where we get comfortable talking money. This is where we're offering every day. This is where we refine and personalize your sales process. And I'm moving quickly on purpose because I know y'all want to get the pictures. And, but before I do that, I do have a question for you. Can I hold some money? In this moment, I'm going to ask everybody, if you have, take out some cash. If you got $1, if you got a 20. If you don't have any cash, I want you to either borrow some cash or take out a card and hold it. I see the hands. Let's take out some money. Because this is called seen and paid. And I'm one of those people who doesn't always have cash, so I see y'all looking. And once you have some money, just hold it up. Let me see you. All right. All right. It is important in a room like this that we talk about some money. Because what I want you to know is, everybody got some money? We good? Somebody support our good sis, Ashley. If you need to hold some dollars, just say, can I hold some money? She's a good investment. We good investments here. All right. So you got money. Y'all, you know what? Let's stand up for a second. Let's hold the money up. If you don't mind, let's move some in. We early in the morning. Get on up with your money. Right? Because like I told y'all, your people might be like my people, where we come from people who've had to make $1 out of 15 cents. But if we truly are the ones, then we have to be the ones that no longer make $1 out of 15 cents. And we have to be the ones that say, I will get my whole dollar. I will get my whole dollar. And for some of you, it's like, we might need a refresh. So I need you to look at your money in this moment and just say hi. Hi. Say, hey, money. Introduce yourself. Say your name to who money is. Hi, money. And I need you to put money on notice. Money, I have something I need to tell you. I no longer work for you. I no longer work for you. You work for me. You work make me some babies. All right, y'all, I will give my whole dollar. I will give my whole dollar. Thank y'all, right? Because in order for us to go make more money and truly be seen and paid, we got to talk to money like it works for us. I feel the energy. Y'all done got free some day. Amen. I love to see it. All right. Now, ladies, y'all got to appreciate the fact that I don't have pockets and I just pulled out a 20. For my next trick, okay, focus. And one of the reasons we got to be clear about who owns money and who gets to control it is because money is incredible. Yesterday, Kim Toyin broke it down. And can I tell y'all a cheat code? Money is the lowest form of wealth. Now go get your money and then make sure you're wealthy all the way through. This is from, and I forgot to put on the slide, I apologize. This is from Prophetic Forecast by Joshua Giles. I'll make sure I include that. But money is the first form of wealth. It's the lowest one. And quickly I'll go through. The second form of wealth is communication. That is your access to relationship, because sometimes you'll get to opportunities that money can't buy, right? Like there's things that I've been able to do and people call me, how did you get there? And they're thinking that they can pay its way there, and I'm like, it was a relationship. So that's why we never want to compromise relationships for money, because relationships are worth more than money. So, all right, let's go. Come on, y'all. So the third form of wealth is wisdom. This is knowledge. This that, I knew it, right? You can't buy intuition. You can't buy wisdom. And so the reason we want to hurry up and get to the money is so that we don't sacrifice things that are worth more than money for those things. And I'll go quickly. The fourth is influence and favor. The fifth is faith. The sixth is glory, God's glory. And the seventh is time. And why it matters so much that we show up in rooms like this is because it accelerates and gives us back more of our time, so we're no longer just trading time for money. Because clearly money is the lowest form, and what was the highest form? Right, so we're not trading time for money. I'll keep moving. So once you know you've made it through Invoice, this is when you get consistent growing sales. This is when you get capacity to receive. You get more money. You get empowered convos on money. Now this is what y'all really want. Charreah, talk about the pitching, sis, and I'm gonna get here. So this is when you leverage who you know and OPP. That's other people's people. And so when I featured Lamar back in 2008 on Essence.com, he was leveraging OPP. He was leveraging that audience to continue to grow his audience. And so this is where you let your people know, what you need, and where you leverage relationships strategically. Now, y'all saw my girl, Coach K. This is my WHAM, that weekly accountability group in the mastermind we supposed to be in. That's Adrian, Cass, and Ajetta. I've never shared this publicly. This is my personal cheat code. And one of the ways you quickly accelerate your impact is you quickly strengthen your relationships and you organize your relationships. I feel so exposed, y'all. But God wanted me to tell y'all this. And so one of the things, this is how I did it. Last year, I hit a sales wall. I had contracts that were closing. I had a 50K client. I'm already setting up in the vendor, and then he ghosts me because there were changes and layoffs in the organization, right? And so one of the things I knew is I knew too many wealthy people to slow down. So you see, I put that little coin, that is millionaire mindset. And everybody I knew personally who had either was a millionaire already or who had a business that was generating $1 million in sale, I put that next to their name. And every day for 2 weeks, I called one of those people. And I just said, hey, this is what's happening in my business. What do you advise? But we're not waiting for the $1 million check to decide we are millionaires. We're not waiting for the $1 billion check to say, I'm a billionaire. Let's go. Because the secret in the cheat code is the more you step into the fact that you are filthy rich, you are a millionaire already, everything changes. And so in a season where I felt like money was not coming as quickly as I wanted, I needed to stabilize my millionaire energy. And the quickest way we do that is through the people in our lives. And so I was able to do that. That was my cheat code. I'm going to keep moving. The top 2 tips to get seen and paid this summer. The number 2 tip is simply press in. Now I'm gonna take you into my inbox. This is an actual pitch, and don't worry about screen grabbing this. I will give you slides that have all of, I will give you a workbook that has all of this, so if you don't get it, it's fine. These are my tips when you are building new relationships. I want you to always start with genuine acknowledgement. I want you to illustrate your awareness of what they do. I cannot overstate this. The quickest way you build relationship is you acknowledge that every opportunity we desire, whether it's this stage, whether it's Oprah like Dr. Mia, I heard Good Morning America over here, there are real people just like me and you who book every opportunity. And the more we connect with that real person, we're able to accelerate our impact. So, can I bring y'all inside my inbox? Y'all gonna, okay, I'll jump right in. So this is an email I sent to a colleague. I was interested in speaking in Black Enterprises Women of Power Conference, so I invited her to a breakfast date. That was the email I sent November 8th. Did not hear back, so November 14th, I was back in her inbox. And what happened next, y'all? I didn't hear back. Come on, B2B. Janine knows. You got to keep showing up. So I came back again, November 27th. Hi, happy holidays. Now, I also want to say, as you follow up, we want to stay kind, so we don't want to ever just forward it like, maybe you didn't see. Don't get stank and snarky, y'all. Y'all, whoever laughing, y'all know y'all. 3 emails, I heard nothing back. And then I did, right? And then I got a call, and she invited me to speak at a conference I hadn't even heard of. And all of a sudden, I'm on a flyer with TD Jakes and y'all, our coach, Lamar, and I'm speaking at a conference that is being produced by Black Enterprise and TD Jakes. That's the event. Over 1,000 entrepreneurs held here in Atlanta. Got a feature, because Black Enterprise was doing the conference, I was able to get a feature on Black Enterprise, and all of this from pressing send and following up. Right? Choo-choo. Same thing. This is one of our leaders I work with, Lisa Nichols. This is the real email I sent to the Tamron Hall show pitching her. She was getting married for the first time, and this is the real pitch I sent. Didn't hear back. Now, when we don't hear back, I sweeten the pot. This cheat code, I have my clients do it. Anytime I don't hear back, I try to personalize it or add something exciting. So this time what I did was I had them create a video of her and her fiance, make a personal video to Tamron Hall, making them feel welcome, and finally I got a response. I don't know if that's how you really spell finally, we're going with it. But this was the email I got back, and we got a booking offer. Also, I'll show you the date. So for national TV, you usually can anticipate it's a longer lead, so they're usually booking out about 3 to 6 weeks. For local broadcast, it can be much shorter. So we got her booked the day before her wedding in the Bahamas. Tamron did a Skype interview with them. Y'all, it was an 11-minute interview. And in that 11-minute interview, they used 13 pieces of B-roll, which is content that we provided. And it was 11 photos, and they used 2 videos of her. So I want you to know, as you're capturing content, as you're posting about TSP Live throughout, that content can be repurposed for bigger platforms as you continue to move forward. So again, we went to Lisa's show. This was in December of last year. This was the first episode of the new year. This time they wanted us to come in studio. This is us. And all of this started because you just got to keep pitching and following up. And so again, this was a contact. Thanks to Janine, she shared info on an event Google was hosting earlier this year. So this was from last year, though. I pitched a contact I have at Google, wanted to get some feedback on my services just to build the relationship. And what did I hear back? Y'all getting it? Yeah, nothing. All right. A year later, I'm back in her inbox. This time, I saw her at a dinner party, and I also knew I was going to an event that Google was having. This is cheat code. When you go to events, re-engage with the people you know who might be there and give them the heads up. So even though she wasn't going to be at the event, I still said, well, who do you recommend I know? Because a lot of times, powerful people hang with powerful people. So you want to always be asking the people you know, well, who do you recommend I connect with? From there, she responded. Literally, when we were at the event at Google, I was on a call with her, and then she invited me to speak at the US Black Chamber Conference next month. So all of this from the first time you don't hear back, we want to always make sure we follow up. But I got to ask you, because you've been sending emails. You don't make it to a room like this and you aren't following and pitching in some way. So we have to ask ourselves, what goes through our mind when we don't hear back? It makes it personal, right? And so one of the things that has helped me to confidently pitch for myself and our clients is I'm not waiting on their yes. So I treat every opportunity and every pitch as simply a party invitation. You are invited to the amazing party that is happening for us. You can RSVP yes, you can RSVP no, but the party is happening whether you say yes or no. And so that's one of the things I wanted to share. And one of the things you will know when you come through the network season and you've officially conquered this strategy is you will have established influence, you will have strong relationships, and you will have visibility. So lastly, let's talk about exposure. Now I jumped right in, wanted to share with you how and talk about booking media, but I want to share quickly why it matters, especially in an economy like this, whereas Lamar talked about yesterday, it's loud. Everybody does everything, everybody is a coach, and I'm not mad at it. We need more coaches. We need more authors. And we know because it is a saturated market, it is important that we stand out. And one of the quickest ways we are able to stand out and increase our impact is that we leverage the credibility of known brands, and we're able to leverage that against our own companies. Now, you'll know that you've mastered this strategy when you create partnerships, when you are global, when you grow your own platform, and when you consider the next level of impact. So I quickly went through 5 success strategies to be seen and paid. We talked about sync. We talked about getting clear about who you help. We talked about getting money back in its proper place as working for you with Invoice. We talked about leveraging who you know. And many for you, I encourage you to think about really look at your phone before you leave here. Look at your text messages. Look at your favorites in your phone. And that next level will require you have a next level support system and community with you. So this was quickly, I went through our SHINE method, and I told y'all, I'm an urgent type of woman, so today is the day you get seen. So I want to quickly share with you, before I wrap up, my #1 tip to get seen and paid this summer. Can I tell you my #1 tip? Yeah. Okay. So before I do that, I'm going to quickly tell y'all about an experience I had. So I had a book signing booked at Barnes & Noble on 5th Avenue in New York City, where presidents go sign their book. That, again, a relationship. My book agent was able to connect that. But don't get excited yet, y'all, because 8 days before the Barnes & Noble book signing, my agent got this email. And this is corporate speak. It does appear that this event will not proceed as planned. What was he saying, y'all? It ain't happening, friend. So I get this email, and I had a decision to make, right? I had a decision to make. What are you going to do? Because there was a communication mishap. I wasn't aware that we needed people RSVPing to the bookstore. So they didn't see any RSVPs. They were like, it cost us money to host this event, and it don't look like anybody coming. And so in that moment, I had to decide, am I going to let this be the end, or am I going to honor the fact that my mama already bought a flight to come up here, and I better figure it out. And so I went to Harlem. This is me on 125th Street. I said, you know what? I don't have to wait for anybody else to get in action. So I got my iPhone, that's right, and I recorded a little video. I wanted to give a sizzle to make people excited to come to the book event. So I invited them out. I went live, I did a check them on the street, and I shared it. And we got some RSVPs, the book event happened. But more importantly, thank you. The power of showing up, because I shared that video with my whole network. I wanted people excited, and most importantly, I wanted people RSVPing. Someone saw the video I created, reached out to me, invited me to be on a podcast with an NPR affiliate. From there, I met these 2 podcast hosts. From there, they invited me to be on a panel. From there, I'm speaking at another event. From there, she invites me to host a fireside chat. And all of a sudden, I'm in Vegas being paid by this national brand, being tweeted, back when it was Twitter, by IBM. But there was a decision I had to make, and it's a decision I want each and every one of us to make. Because in that day, when Barnes & Noble emailed me, I could not wait for anybody else to get moving, right? So we got the context, but I want you to know the cheat code is book yourself. The #1 way for you to be seen and paid is to not wait on anybody else, but to decide, I see myself, I am enough just as I am, and I would choose to show up. And so that was the power of showing up, and I want that same for you. I've got 5 minutes. I got time for about 2-3 questions, so come on to the mics. And I will say, I know I went quickly because there was some things God wanted me to say today. I'll give you all the pitch scripts themselves for who, what, and how to pitch. And my only request of you is give me some feedback. And so that is our code. We'll send you that. And with that, I'm ready for questions. Thank y'all. Thank you, thank you.
Good morning, good morning. I am Nikki Klug. I create spaces where people love to live, work, and play through interior design. Now, I was on Fifth Avenue right there with you because I have built my own stage. For many years, people said, you need an interior design show. You need a show on HGTV. Well, I have done that. I've produced 6 episodes featuring affluent African-American families. Dr. Erica Jordan Thomas is featured in that, our very own Dr. Erica Jordan Thomas. And we're ready. We're launching on July 9th.
Yes.
On YouTube. I understand that I want the viewership. I need people to love, like, share, comment some more, and share again. And that the wealth is in our community. What are some real ways to help me help those that want to share and help me make this series a success?
Meaning, specifically, how do you get the audience, grow the audience quickly?
Yes, and engage,
right?
Yes.
And the great part is, we know, in addition to what we know at Traffic, Sales, and Profit, right? We can build, borrow, buy traffic. For you specifically with this content-rich opportunity, I would really lean into, I would host events. So I don't know what virtual launches or those type of watch parties you have. And then I would leverage all of my guests to have them amplify. So really having times where they can come and amplify as well, but asking everybody. You haven't even asked me to share a post.
On the Move with NikkiKlug.com.
Okay.
Please go sign up for updates and like, share, love, comment, and post about it.
Absolutely. And are you planning to run ads as well?
We haven't, but I will if you.
Okay. And I say that to say, we playing like the big dogs, so play like the big dogs.
Okay.
So even when you talk about national TV, when you talk about, I know a couple of friends who work at Sherry Shepherd's show, and I know Sherry. Let me tell you, even with all the visibility of a national show, she ran it like a campaign.
Okay.
So I would say for any launch, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a book, you want to give yourself time to plan a true launch that everybody's heard about it by the time it launches.
Right.
And so I want you to really put the energy of pushing in focus and give yourself some time to plan those big moments.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caleb Jakes. I'm a 20-year-old motivational speaker and now author, and I help.
And you can dance too. I've been seeing you dancing.
Yeah, I love to wobble. I help youth and young adults turn their trials into triumph and their pain into purpose through the power of joy. And my question is, given my achievements and my young age, what specific elements and angles should I highlight in my pitch to stand out and capture the interest of major platforms like Good Morning America and national?
First of all, congratulations. And what I didn't hear, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I want you to share a little about what you've come through, because it's extraordinary to be 20 years old sitting here at this conference with a book already published, right? And I want to talk about, you clearly are already extraordinary, and what makes, and this is for all of us, we want to tell the fullness of their story. And so I want you to tell the low points as well as the high points, because it creates more drama in the storytelling. And why is it even more, so what's one thing you've been through that you talk about in that book?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things is overcoming childhood obesity. And
Okay.
so over the last year and a half, I lost over 100 pounds. And so, yeah.
All right, you see? That's great, but had I not asked you that question, the best nugget was I lost over 100 pounds in the last year. I want you leading. I want all of us lead with the strongest part of the story.
Okay.
That's extraordinary.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess if I could just follow up with that. So in terms of just losing the 100 pounds, it's not just about losing weight, but I talk about losing the emotional weight, the physical weight, and the traumatic weight, right? To make that spiritual
Absolutely.
shift. So I should include that as well?
Yes,
Okay.
and I want you to say, we all know, in order to have lost, you don't just lose 100 pounds. So all of that had to happen, because as within, without, so whatever you had to free internally had to happen to release the weight anyway. However, when we're talking quick and pitches and you're on top of a stack of 100 emails a day, 20-year-old teen lost 100 pounds in a year, here's an extraordinary story of freeing yourself. I want you to get to the point, and when they get you on, they'll tell more of the whole story.
Okay, thank you so much.
y'all.
That was awesome. Good morning, good morning. I'm Adrienne Simpson, and I own a company called the LinkedIn Pros, where we help business owners. Hey, y'all.
And she got some bomb swag. Y'all see, can you show on the camera that, show the back, Adrienne. Bam! Listen, when y'all get to the mic, y'all better bring it. Don't be saving you got a sequin jacket. You better come up there like, okay, focus.
Listen, thank you. So I help business owners position themselves as industry experts so that they can leverage LinkedIn to make more money, bigger contracts, and more revenue. And so my question is about being ready and prepared for the media opportunities as they come. Friend, I've heard you say that not everybody is ready to be on big stages, even though they might want to be. And so for someone like me, who has their own show, right, it's a podcast, but I call it my show, The Warm Handshake, I am looking to position myself and be ready so that I can pitch to the Tamron Halls and the Today shows and all of that. But what are the steps that I need to take to prepare myself to get ready to pitch and be on those big stages?
Yes, and I want to make sure anybody and everybody is ready to be on a big stage. What sometimes is our businesses are not ready to leverage it. So when y'all saw me on the Steve Harvey show, I didn't have a business ready to leverage it. So it was great. I had a business. I didn't really have a course I was pushing. So wasn't able to leverage that visibility. So it's not that you shouldn't be pitching. And one of the reasons I created the Shine Method is because I want us to be ready to leverage those opportunities. So for you, you have a business, you have services. I would want you to have a lead magnet that's attached to every topic you have. So if you're talking about a topic, have a lead magnet ready. So when you are there, you say, get my free course, or get my free video, get my free something, so you're able to push them in and then be able to leverage them strategically.
Thank you.
Yeah, and can I ask you one? Thank you for that question. She's in my wham. Y'all, another example. When I was on Steve Harvey's show, y'all want to know the person who booked me is speaking tonight, right? There's power all around here. The director of operations at Tyler New Media, Doreen Rainey, who is phenomenal here. She's a phenomenal coach. She also led Steve Harvey's operations around, so she produced his Vault conference, and when she booked me to speak at that conference, I said, hey, I started pitching, hey, can I be on Steve's show? So that's how that happens, and that's the power of this room. Thank you. Okay, last question. Okay.
Hi, my name is Tanisha Lyons Porter, and
they gave me two more minutes. Thank y'all.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Tanisha Lyons Porter. I'm the founder of
Natural. I'm over. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to say thank y'all, Tanisha, and I'll say to everybody else, I'll be here all weekend. I'll be in the lobby during the dinner break. Come find me for Mastermind Family. I will be in the Mastermind Suite tomorrow. I'm here all weekend, and I'm so honored, and thank you. And can we get a final choo-choo? Thank you.
All right, give it up for our Mastermind sister. Girl, you killed it.